Today we are honored to have with us several distinguished guests. Commander 17th Training Wing, Colonel Andre Rosario. Commander 17th Mission Support Group, Colonel Tony England and his wife Michelle. Incoming Commander 17th Mission Support Group, Colonel Eugene Moore, his wife Talithia, his mother-in-law Linda, his son Captain Calvin Moore, daughter-in-law Jasmine, and his daughters Jasmine, Lindy, Justice, Grace, and his granddaughter Flo. Retired General Gary North and his wife Shelley. Retired Brigadier General Mike Boyd. Vice Commander 17th Training Wing, Colonel James Boyce. Command Chief 17th Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Casey Bodenschein. Superintendent 17th Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Brianna Oliver. Deputy Director 17th Mission Support Group, Mr. Mark Maxfield. Commander 17th Medical Group, Colonel Derek Larby, and Superintendent Chief Master Sergeant Marcus Washington. Retired Chief Master Sergeant Dudley Baker and his wife Bonnie. San Angelo Mayor Brenda Gunter. San Angelo Chamber of Commerce President Walter Koenig. Emeritus Chief of Staff of the Air Force Civic Leader Dr. Carol Ann Bonds and her husband Charlie. Tom Green County Judge, the Honorable Judge Stephen Floyd. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 17th Mission Support Group is proud to welcome each of you in attendance today. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. And now, Commander 17th Training Wing, Colonel Andres Nazario, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Hey, before I start, huge welcome to Mr. Mark Cooter, representing his wife, Colonel Angeline McGinnis of 17th Training Group. Thank you,
Yeah, this is not set up for short people. Wonderful, sir. Great. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'll tell you, before I start reading my remarks, I'd like to thank the medical community. Exactly 24 hours ago, I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it here. That man right there, my vice, Colonel Finlayson, reading a book right next to my bed for a little bit of an intervention, but somehow, some way, the medical gods made it work, and I'm here. I'll go back to bed after this one. Hey, good morning, everyone. It is an absolute honor to be the presiding officer today at the 17th Mission Support Group's Chain of Command. As anyone who has spent any significant time in Hawaii, aloha can mean both hello and goodbye in the Hawaiian language. This morning we'll be saying aloha goodbye to an absolutely stellar servant leader in Colonel Tony England, but also welcoming another amazing leader in saying aloha hello to Colonel Gene Easy Moore. Don't call him Eugene. I was told that. Before talking about all of Tony's accolades and accomplishments, I'll be remiss if I didn't welcome some special guests in attendance today. Michelle, thank you for being the rock at Tony's side and being here today. We'll miss seeing you guys jogging around through the neighborhood, but we will sleep well knowing that you and Tony will soon be able to enjoy your morning runs along the beaches of Waikiki as their next duty station is taking them back to the familiar stomping grounds at Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii. I'd also like to send greetings to Tony's son, Josh. I think he's watching online. And Josh's wife, Margaret. who are dialing in virtually with via the interwebs from Columbia, South Carolina, and to Tony's parents, Floyd and Martha, who are also watching from Statesville, North Carolina. Thank you, Talicia, for being here to support your husband, Gene, as he takes command for being by his side all these many years. As you see, they have been married 29 years and have been together since they were high school sweethearts. By the way, this is like the third high school sweetheart change of command that I do in a row. I guess it's a commander's requisite. It's just interesting. Also, we're honored to have Colonel Moore's son, Captain Calvin Moore, and his spouse, Yasmin, Colonel Moore's daughter, Linda, and her fiancé, DJ, his daughters, Justice and Grace, who are also here today, and their daughter, Jasmine, who's dialing in virtually from Richmond, Virginia, as well as Colonel Moore's granddaughter, Love, who is with us today as well. I think she is the one right over there having a little bit of fun. Additionally, I'd like to thank our special guests and community leaders for taking time to attend today's ceremony. Literally a week ago, Tony sends, this is typical Tony England, right? We're having fun. We're say, hey, just so you know, General North is going to be at my change of command. I'm like, the General North, like General North, like the hero General North, like, yes, I exec for him for 4 years. I'm like, oh my God. Sir, it is not every day that we have a hero among us, so please feel welcome. General North, it's definitely a pleasure to have you with us today. As many of you may not know, Tony was General North's executive officer for a whopping 4 years, where the norm is usually like a year or two at most for an exec. Colonel Washington and Colonel Nivius, thank you for making the journey from Headquarters Air Force. Also, thank you to our civic leaders, General Mike Boyd. Randy Brooks is not here, but he's watching. Mr. Walt Koenig, obviously Mrs. Carol Bonds, obviously Judge Floyd, and Madam Mayor. Each of you has been a key partner in growing and maturing the unique relationship between Goodfellow and the city of San Angelo. And for that, I can't thank you enough. Man, I'll tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that without a lot of prayers and the best in the Air Force civic-military relationship between our base and the local community, we would have been in a much different place in dealing with some of the challenges that we all encountered over the past year or so. But I will touch on that more in a little bit. Finally, I also like to welcome our commanders, senior enlisted leaders, friends, family members in attendance today. Every summer, the Air Force goes into what we call change of command season. And this summer is no different than the summers before and the summers that will follow. We get the opportunity to thank our outgoing commanders for all their tireless efforts and place a new commander on the racetrack of command. Realize, though, the same race is continuously being run by all the leaders here at Goodfellow. We're all on the track together, and now we're just handing the baton to a new leader. This helps ensure continuity of command between leaders and keeps us from starting all over with completely new ideas and tasks. Yes, I am sure Colonel Moore today and Colonel Rahman next month might adjust the stride within the mission support group and the wing. Still, almost everything should be pretty seamless between the leaders passing the baton, as we here at the 17th Training Wing has chosen to adopt a mantra of continuity of command, not change of command, but continuity of command approach, rather than a traditional change of command mindset, where unit priorities and lines of effort change every 2 years or so. Indeed, through clean vision, transformational approach to leadership, and empowering his squadron commanders, Colonel England has set that sound foundation where Colonel Moore will continue to strive for excellence within the mission support group in furthering our wings' missions of training, developing, and inspiring our future force. Tony. This past 2 years, you were faced with the toughest of challenges in leading through the pandemic. And bro, I don't even know where to begin. The journey has been quite a ride. I'm ever so thankful for you being on the team. At the outbreak of COVID, we had nothing but each other, and you know that. We had no supplies, we had no plans or policies, and surely had no idea what to do if faced with an outbreak here at Goodfellow. Through your work and that of the other leaders at Goodfellow, we quickly found our feet and started moving out into new uncharted territory. When everyone went home and then set telework in motion, your group had to keep all the base support going. You see, the mission of AETC was not to stop and wait. The mission of AETC was not to flatten the curve. The mission of AETC was to fight through it. To fight through it. You had to quickly figure out how we keep our service members fed in a socially distanced fashion. You had to complete work orders, continue construction projects, do communication support, run the Child Development Center, PCS people, and run TMO during COVID conditions, and provide sensible physical workout options and locations for our personnel. All the while, you also had to be there to support the training and medical group missions, and of course, the demands of a wing commander, i.e. me, who wants solutions yesterday and always wants you thinking forward about the next challenge. Tony, you and your team of the mission support professionals did the best work, and I always told you, Tony, you're sitting in the best narrative on this base. You just don't even know it. You did set the bar very high. The first such amazing thing was rallying your communication squadron to provide Herculean effort to support during the pandemic's outset. Within just a few weeks, you and your team had the wing outfitted with laptops to conduct virtual training and kept the precious training pipeline open. You even got us a contract to expand Wi-Fi services to our students. Without question, your work helped leap this training wing 10 years forward, where we proved concepts in weeks that normally would have taken years to navigate. In some cases, those advances the wing made with hybrid learning graduated students faster and got them out to the field to do the operational mission, helping us realize that what our training instructors and the team were capable of as they were presented with a challenge, and they crushed that challenge. That would not have happened without the enabling support of your mission support group. And I'm not even talking about the best story of them all. In fact, I'm going to take a detour here. What are the chances that you actually encountered COVID with 30% of your communication capacity? Because what are the chances, if you don't know what March 11th is, then you were in a leadership position a year ago during the pandemic. March 11th, it was a Wednesday. March 11th was the day that the President of the United States announced a national pandemic and wanted to set the federal government in motion. 3 hours before that announcement, lightning struck just south of Abilene, Texas. I know you're wondering where this is going. It just so happens that it struck in the main line that feeds bandwidth the communication to Good Fellow Air Force Base and actually the Defense Health Agency's communication system. That's how we began the journey. 30% comm capacity. Somehow, some way, everything that I just shared with you, literally the first few days, we were doing by paper. Not the way you command and control a wing this side. But thanks to you, Tony, and your hard work, within 48 hours, we were back up and frankly found the resiliency we didn't have before. And I mean resiliency, the bandwidth resiliency we didn't have before the pandemic and the lightning strike. Additionally, you and your team were a driving force in the construction of Mathis Beach, or as we affectionately call it, one of our favorite, the Venice Beach of West Texas. By mid-May of 2020, we had service members conducting outdoor workouts in a socially distant area right near the student dormitories. This innovative initiative was crucial in keeping up troop morale and providing an opportunity for members to stay fit while most of the world shut themselves away inside. Mathis Beach is still going strong and showcases the MSG's ability to find solutions to the toughest problems during any crisis and situation. You also masterfully handled the challenge of triple bunking here at Goodfellow. In a deliberate approach, you helped move out our lieutenant students to off-base locations, then consolidated our permanent party airmen in the old unoccupied officers' quarters. That dormitory move freed up a number of rooms for pipeline students and greatly increased the quality of life for all personnel. While the LTs in favor dorm life, the permanent party airmen now have their own dorm away from student life, and pipeline airmen are showering one right after another. This move is going to put less stress on our dormitories and surely extend our dorm share life in these physically constrained times. Tony, you did that. Tony, you and your team. We're going to keep going. Tony, you and your team further crush our housing dilemmas by forging the DoD's first intergovernmental support agreement with Angelo State University and coordinating the assembly of Goodfellows' new 300-person temporary dorm complex. We're now able to house upwards of 100 linguist airmen over at ASU and have further strengthened the bond between Goodfellow at the university. The temporary dorm complex looks amazing and is going to be critical going forward as Goodfellow accepts a new mission from the Navy and performs some renovations on the various dorms here on base. Aside from providing stellar support to Goodfellow's housing and dorm challenges, the entire base is postured to benefit the overhaul of our base exchange and the new Dunkin' Donuts coming next month that Tony has been telling us for a year. As Colonel I was told it's going to be July 5th. That's what I was told last year. As Colonel Ingles has again promised us, though I was unsuccessful trying to delay Colonel Ingles' PCS until I have a fresh Dunkin' Donuts and coffee in my hands. Rest assured, soon service members will no longer have to travel to Abilene or Midland to get their Dunkin' on because Tony and his team are feeding the force right here at Goodfellow. I can only imagine the line of potential black market donut sales in the greater Trust me, that'll happen. Watch! Whoever the new Security Forces Squadron commanders will see a spike of gate runs. Thanks for giving us a tough problem to our new Security Forces commander, Captain Turley. On a more serious note, I saved a couple of things to talk about last. Tony, under your leadership, we secured millions of dollars under the State of Texas DEAC program, added 2 significant communication pipelines that went online the first week of COVID, worked nipper and zipper switch upgrades, and survived the snowstorm Uri, we call it Snowmageddon, COVID storm. We're now in a better place to ensure the pipes are open to conduct training and daily business here at Goodfellow. The DEAC grant secured Goodfellow and Tumbry County over $5 million in funding to power infrastructure, human resiliency, and further our communications infrastructure. It is also more importantly going to bring 5G technology to the base that the city of San Angelo can connect to. The lessons learned during Winter Storm Uri have opened our eyes to the need to isolate ourselves on the power grid and will no doubt blossom further grant proposals and enhance our relationship with San Angelo. Tony, under your leadership, each of your squadrons thrived. Your group's personnel won countless awards, received promotions, and you truly made life at Goodfellow much better. You did everything in your power to put airmen first and our joint force first. And for that, I thank you dearly, my friend. You even overhauled the Mathis Fitness Center and got rid of that horrendous yellow paint, which was the first thing Mark Cooter mentioned to me when he worked out in it. He just couldn't get a good workout. Back to a serious note, though, and I personally picked this sort of like, not poem, but saying for you because it highlights you to a T, and anybody who has met you will understand why I chose this. And it is this, Tony. Humility distinguishes the wise leader from the arrogant power seeker. Acting with humility does not in any way deny our own self-worth. Rather, it affirms the inherent worth of all persons. Tony, you're a true airman leader and have never lost sight of where you came from and what was like to be junior. You are off to Hawaii for a true and well-deserved sunset tour. I know you're going to do amazing things in Hawaii as you've done since entering service in 1985. It is not every day that we get to be in the presence of someone who has devoted over 36 years to serving the Air Force. Thanks, Tony. Your leadership legacy will surely outlive your 2 years here in command. Humility, servant leadership. Tony England. It's in the dictionary. But now, I also like to turn our attention to Colonel Gene E.C. Moore. Call sign E.C. for his easygoing demeanor, his ability to keep calm, cool, and collected, and be able to lead effectively when chaos is happening all around him. I think I just described 2 years of chaos to you. Colonel Moore comes to us at Goodfellow Air Force Base fresh off an assignment at Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama, where he served as the Director of Staff for Air University, working for Lieutenant General James Hecker. He is very well traveled, having been in service since his teenage years, started out in the Army. We have that in common. I don't know if you know that. And we actually, all three of us are prior service airmen. Colonel Moore has a wealth of experience from all parts of the Air Force. I can clearly see he is primed with the skills to focus on caring for people, and especially new airmen in service. I also have no doubt he'll use his experiences to continue shaping the 17th Mission Support Group to providing even better levels of service to the base populace. Easy, you'll be faced with several challenges during your time here at Goodfellow. Unfortunately, our facilities aren't exactly getting any younger, and there are lots of future projects to tend to. We all have to be smart about how we expend our funds and prioritize needs across the wing. What I can say is that you are not alone in this effort. You're joining a team of true ninjas who put the mission first and always take care of business. Easy. I'm over the moon excited to extend this leadership opportunity to you today. We're lucky to have you, and you, my friend, are blessed to have the finest group of professionals our Air Force has to offer in the 17th Mission Support Group. You come very highly recommended from those within my trusted inner circle, and I trust we've made the right choice in you. So again, welcome to Goodfellow. Let's proceed with the rest of the ceremony. Booyah.
Thank you, Colonel Nazario. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Nazario will now present Colonel England with the Legion of Merit Medal.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Legion of Merit to Colonel Tony England for meritorious service 20 June 2019 to 23 June 2021. Colonel Tony D. England distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 17th Mission Support Group, 17th Training Wing, Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas, from 20 June 2019 to 23 June 2021. In this critical assignment, Colonel England courageously led 6 squadrons with 940 personnel and $1.2 billion in resources. His ceaseless efforts provided flawless support that was vital to the graduation of 23,000 intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance and firefighting professionals from all 6 armed services and more than 25 nations. In addition, Colonel Tony England drove the wing's response to the coronavirus 19 pandemic and the historic 2021 Winter Storm Uri crisis by developing actions that unified all base agencies, secure the training pipeline, and increase safety for more than 11,000 military and civilian personnel. Additionally, Colonel England ignited mission growth by diligently collaborating with the state of Texas to secure an $11 million grant that amplified power, human, and communication resiliency by building an energy microgrid, upgrading warrior fitness training areas, and blazing a path to 5th-generation cellular technology to the installation. Moreover, Colonel England's steadfast leadership was pivotal to establishing an alliance with the local community, whereby he guided 55 formal agreements and cemented the wing as the Air Force's leading community partnership program. Furthermore, he eliminated a 10-year shortage of student dormitory rooms by contracting a $9.9 million temporary facility to house 300 students. Colonel Tony England pioneered the first ever Department of Defense and State University intergovernmental support agreement to provide 110 students with dormitory rooms and meals, building a critical bridge until a $45 million military construction project is executed. Finally, Colonel England's exemplary leadership bolstered performance levels as he led his group to 25 Air Force and Major Command level awards. The superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel England reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Higgins, please place your troops at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander of the 17th Mission Support Group, Colonel Tony England.
Yeah. So everybody in formation, just shake it out real good. Shake it, shake it. Loosen up. You deserve it. All right. Good morning, everyone. Let me start by thanking God for blessing me, surrounding me with some awesome people, and seeing me through the past 2 years. Thank you, Airman First Class Selena Moore, for that rendition of the national anthem. It's truly amazing. Thanks to First Lieutenant Blocker, Senior Master Sergeant Pritz, Jeff Compton, and Karen Martin. I see you back there, Karen. Staff Sergeant Jagger, Senior Airman Donato, A1C Hardinson, for all the hard work they put into making the change of command happen. Organizing something like this is never easy, and you did a spectacular job. Thanks to our MC, Staff Sergeant Berger, the Honor Guard, Wing Protocol, Public Affairs, and the Radio Frequency Shop for their part in today's ceremony. Thank you, Chaplain Blackburn, for that wonderful prayer and for your friendship and camaraderie during our tenure together. Thank you. To my wife, Michelle, none of this would be possible without the love and support that you've given me. Last Thursday, we celebrated our 32nd wedding anniversary. We are now starting our 13th assignment, and it seems that we routinely celebrate our wedding anniversaries while living out of a suitcase in TLF on the move again. However, you've always made the best of it, and for that, I love you even more. For my son and daughter-in-law, thanks for taking the time from your work to watch from Facebook Live. Thank you guys for all your support over the years. I love you guys tremendously. My mom and pop had planned to watch live, but unfortunately, my father was admitted to the hospital last Saturday, but he is doing much, much better, and I'm sure my mom and him will watch this later. But I can't thank them tremendously for setting the foundation that took me to where I am today, and I love you both. My in-laws are just happened to tune in, too, at the last minute. Don and Sue Redmond. They're watching from Sun City Center, Florida, and I want to thank them for their support, too. I love you all. To my greatest mentors, General and Mrs. North, when you called and said you were coming, I was pretty psyched. It is an honor to have you here. You have been both great role models for Michelle and I. Y'all seem to always know and be there checking on us at the right time. In the middle of the winter storm this year, they called us. They said, "How you guys making out?" And to give us that encouragement, knowing that running a base can be a challenge, especially under abnormal conditions, even if it is Mother Nature. I want to thank the chiefs that are here today, Chief Oliver, Chief Washington, Chief Hutchins, and Chief Broomerside. Always a pleasure. Thank you guys for coming out. To my fellow colonels, both past and present, Ram, Cobra, Lauren Bird, Tom Coakley, Pint's not here, but Cooter's here, and recently Derek. We made the sausage each and every day, even if the boss from time to time changed the menu at the last minute.
Pork chop.
Thank you for your camaraderie, friendship, and the sharing of sound advice. To our civic leaders, I have now witnessed the strongest, cohesive military civic community in the United States. San Angelo has won the Altus Trophy twice and would have won it a third time if it had not been for COVID. Let me just say that the following are my San Angelo heroes: Dr. Bonds, Judge Floyd, General Boyd. Lieutenant General Hawkins is not here today, but he is there in spirit. Randy Brooks, I know he's watching. Mayor Gunther. The San Angelo City Manager, my honorary commander, Dan Venezuela. Plus the Chamber of Commerce President Walt Koenig. With your help, Goodfellow has received a grant totaling over $23 million in local and private community donations and taxes grants, improving the quality of life of the base, and my favorite, and I know it's Dr. Bonds' favorite, the approval to experiment with 5G. Oh, thank you. Dr. Carol Ann Bonds and Charlie Bonds, what a great warrior we have in both of you. Dr. Bonds, I've never seen a greater advocate for a base. You always take the fight to either Austin, Texas, or Washington, D.C., and you always seem to get us the attention we need and the funding to go with it. To Mayor Gunther, Judge Floyd, and all the city council members I've worked with over the past 2 years, I want to thank each of you personally. I've attended a lot of PME schools and courses, been around a lot of senior leaders, but this is the first time I've witnessed a different skill set that's quite special when it comes to running the local community. With every crisis, COVID, water, snow, etc., that we were challenged with here on the base, it was y'all that was on the front line outside the wire, conducting TV interviews, press conferences, and keeping your cool when the heat was on or not. Truly amazing. To the AFES and commissary personnel that are my special guests today, Christy, I saw you out there. You've proven yourselves critical to our wing's mission. It was you that drove on the icy roads to open your stores, making sure we had those food and water supplies available even when HEB's shelves were empty. Thank you. I'd also like to thank my deputy, Mark Maxfield, and my 2 group superintendents since I've been here, Chief Michael Padgett and Chief Craig Hutchins, for their constant advice and support. They were my wingmen during some great challenging situations, and they gave me 110% to make my tour a success. I am forever in your debt. My front office staff, past and present, Leah Heyman, Viviana Johns, Lieutenant Seal, Lieutenant Freddie Stevens, Lieutenant Ben Lowe, Lieutenant Brandon Blocker, and finally, Lieutenant Mac Wilkinson. Wow, I can't believe I went through that many lieutenants. I thought I was easy, but good thing easy's here. To my boss for the last 2 years, Colonel Nazario. Sir, you and I have been through a lot. We were challenged with situations that a normal base during normal times could never conceive of. Water contaminations, a worldwide pandemic, and the historic Storm Uri. We arrived here at the same time, which in my opinion is the best situation for a MSG commander in supporting his or her wing commander. Meaning, we were allowed to go through the forming, the storming, the norming fairly quickly, and we got to the performing. And boy, did we performed. We solved triple bunking, built a 300-person dorm, and started the development of the land east of the runway. No other wing commander has ever done that, setting it up for the future. Colonel Nez, you set the stage, laid out our strategic early, and provided the resources that we needed, and I believe the men and women of the 17th Mission Support Group delivered. I said this at our civic leader farewell barbecue. When the base was faced with global pandemic, the water contaminations, the crisis, and the historic storm, you provided those earth-moving speeches at the end of each of our meetings. And that pumped me up personally and allowed me to take that hill. Colonel Moore and T, welcome to Goodfellow. San Angelo will be your home, and they will welcome you with open arms. Easy, I want you to know that I feel very confident in giving you the reins over to you today. Our paths have crossed now 3 times. Al Udeid, the Pentagon, and now Goodfellow. Our backgrounds are very similar. We've both come through the enlisted ranks, crossed over to the officer side, traveled the world, worked for many of the same senior Air Force leaders, but never forgetting where we came from. So I know you will continue doing great things here at Goodfellow. My only advice is to continue taking care of our 6 diverse squadrons. They will definitely take care of you. To the men and women of the 17th Mission Support Group, during my first commander's call, I told you this is our base. Yes, this is our base, and here's why. Our defenders, when anyone enters Goodfellow, the first thing you see is a defender, and it's the last thing you see when you depart. Our defenders proudly stand guard each and every day. Thank you, defenders. This is your base. Our engineers, if your lights turn on, your office is comfortable in the brutal heat of summer or the extreme cold of winter, if your toilet's flush when you really need it to. Thank you, engineers. This is your base. Our combats, if you pick up your phone and there's a dial tone, if you sent an email and it was there 99.9999% of the time, it was the combats. The training mission on this base doesn't happen without good comms. You've improved our network, kept the phones and radios working, and showed us the proper and secure way to store data while protecting us from cyber attacks, both foreign and domestic. Thank you, combats. This is your base. Our contracting folks, as their motto says, if you got it, we bought it. And bought it they did. Processed and awarded over 1,000 contracts worth $194 million, buying over 90% of the Wing's purchase requests. They wheeled and dealed with H-E-B, Sam's, and even Home Depot to get us 80 pallets of water during both the water and the winter storm. Did I mention the construction site grader? They went outside and actually rented a construction site grader to remove snow. Thank you, contracting. This is your base. Our logistic folks, you kept not only our vehicles operational, but you've also kept the city's fire trucks and school vehicles operational. You've gotten us ready for deployments. You made us sure we had gasoline, picked up necessary supplies on a routine basis, and ventured out in the snow to get bottled water for the base. Thank you, logisticians. This is your base. And last but not least, the Force Support Squadron. You proved to the world that you are mission critical to the base. You came in during your days off, during the height of the pandemic, during the recovery from the winter storms to out-process students, to give families without water and heat a place to stay, a place to take a shower, and a hot meal for students and families. Every day you entertain us, provide a place to take a break, and even a chance to purchase one of our favorite beverages. FSS, this is your base. And together, all of us together, this is our base. Let me close by saying that I was honored to be your commander, and I will cherish the memories. And someday, I'll sit on my front porch rocker and tell stories of the many challenges we overcame and the great adventure we had taking care of Goodfellow. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Colonel England. The members of the 17th Mission Support Group will now say farewell to Colonel England.
Where's that? Halt! Order! Halt!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Nazario will now transfer command of the 17th Mission Support Group from Colonel Tony England to Colonel Eugene Moore.
Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. Under the provisions of AFI 51604 and Special Order Number G 19028, dated 23 June 2021, Colonel Tony England relinquishes command of the 17th Mission Support Group, Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas. Effective 23 June 2021, Colonel Eugene Moore assumes command of the 17th Mission Support Group. Signed, Colonel Andres R. Nazario, Commander, 17th Training Wing. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Commander, 17th Mission Support Group, Colonel Eugene Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. 17th Mission Support Group will now welcome Colonel Moore.
Where is it? Ha! Sir, I present command. Order. Ha! Hurry.
Colonel Moore, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. All right. Wow. Whew. So I promise I will not be before you long. I know it's getting warm. A very wise woman once told me, when you're asked to speak publicly, be articulate, take your notes so you don't ramble, and leave your audience before they get bored and leave you. So folks, let me just start by saying thank you all for attending, both virtually and in person. Colonel Nazario, sir, thank you for the confidence that you have in me. I really appreciate it, and thank you for providing this awesome team of professionals to lead. Folks, you already got it, so I promise I will not get in your way. So, to the commanders and civic leaders, again, thank you for attending, and I look forward to leading with you. Look forward to becoming a part of this great community and serving our airmen, guardians, and our sister service personnel. So, I'm a true believer in it takes a village. I know you've heard of that saying, it takes a village to raise a child, but I believe also that it takes a village to raise an airman, and I stand here as proof of that. There have been many folks who have leaned in during my professional and personal development that have culminated in this spot here today. So I won't name them all. There's no way I can after 30 plus years, but I will name some general categories. First and more importantly, I want to thank my family, my wife Talithia and the children. They are my city center, my village center, so to speak. Together we debate the issues, we collaborate, and we figure out the strategic direction of the family, and we move forward. I want to thank you guys. You drive my career choices. I want to give 2 quick shout outs, actually 3, to the 4 Horsemen, to the Super Street crew and my 9604 brothers and sisters from OTS. These 3 peer groups are my sounding boards, my confidants, and they keep me grounded. And lastly, I want to say thank you to my village senate. These are the senior NCOs, senior officers, and senior civilians that have guided and mentored my career, and some have even become close family. Chief Dudley Baker. Tony, you're right, we've known each other for a while. And we served at the KOC under General North. We've served at the Pentagon, and now our paths have crossed again. I've always been a big fan, and I'm not surprised to hear of all the accolades and achievements that you've accomplished over the last 2 years with your team, and I promise I won't screw it up. So best wishes to you and Michelle in Hawaii. I know you're going to go off and do great things there as well. 17th MSG, you are already an awesome team. I will not get in the way. I've said that once before, I will not. I pledge that I will continue to provide you the support and the resources needed to take our team to the next level. I'm so very excited to be part of your village. And so with that said, 17th MSG, giddy up, let's go. Cool.
Thank you, Colonel Moore. We would like to extend a warm welcome to the entire Moore family and present flowers to Mrs. Moore on behalf of the men and women of the 17th Mission Support Group. Please join us for the singing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party.
Sing it like you mean it. All right. Are we going to have the music or are we going to have
Yes,
to
sir.
start off? All right. The music.
Flying high into the sun, here they come, lead our thunder, and boys, give her the gun, give her the gun! Down we dive, snapping our flames from under, off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, but we're down in flames. Hey! Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. We would like to thank everyone for their attendance. Please join us for a reception at the Event Center to welcome and congratulate Colonel Moore and his family. Thank you and have a great day.